let's get into this week's best and worst comics for the month of October, the first week of October. I think these came out on the 4th, and we're just going to run through these. The first one being Fantastic Four. Now, I think all of us may have read this one, correct?
I didn't get a chance to read this.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, Kyle,
No.
you?
I read it.
You did? Did you think that it was a 98%?
Oh, go
Fuck
for it.
no. 90% bad, yeah.
What, you didn't like the dinosaurs? The Fantastic Four dinosaurs?
Fantastic Soars?
Hey, look at that. The Fantastic Soars. I like it.
No, I know it's Totes Dorbs, and I know everyone loves that. Oh, isn't it funny that they're all dinosaurs now? And look at the dinosaur Doctor Doom at the end. Oh my Godsies. No, it's fucking retarded.
This was something else. I think the art in this was really great.
Whoa.
Except for when they do the thing.
Yes, his floating head. Is
every time
stupid.
There's a side profile of the thing. It is a floating jelly bean.
Yes.
There is nothing attached. It is
Like a Raleigh Rossmo head jelly bean?
There were multiple times in the book where I was questioning, okay, why are they not trying to immediately get back home? Because the Fantastic Four essentially gets sucked into this this portal that sends them to an alternate universe where all the Avengers are dinosaurs. Whoa, dinosaurs, guys! Whoa,
scary.
Yeah, it's spooky. So when they go to the alternate universe, they then realize, oh no! So then the Fantastic Four dinosaur universe, us, went to Earth. So Earth has the Fantastic Four dinosaurs, and they're wreaking havoc. And so
oh my
god! So now the Fantastic Four has to find their way back to Earth to go save Earth from their dinosaur themselves. Okay, I'll say this: it's not for me. I will be a little bit more lenient. I'll give it a meh because obviously it's reaching an audience. People are really liking the dinosaur thing. It's not my cup of tea. I get it. Dinosaurs are cool. In this context, I'm not a fan. So I'll give it a meh. Kyle, are you going to give this one a skip it this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really had to think on that, huh?
Yeah.
This book is fucking retarded. Like, no, do not read this book. Do not waste your money on this book.
So what do we got up next on the list? Oh God, this was.
Oh boy,
this was a waste of money.
Bad.
Absolutely.
Ghost Rider anal. Yeah.
I think my math was right on this. Ghost Rider only appears in 7 panels in this whole annual.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say. I think I counted as well, and I think I said either it was like between 4 to 8 panels total that you get to see. And some of them aren't even like Ghost Rider's face. Like it's like the side of him or the back of him or something.
Or the boot. Yeah.
Yeah. We are halfway through at this point now.
No Ghost Rider.
There he is. Finally. Okay, so that's 1. Okay, there he is. 2, 3. Right? 2, 3. 4, I guess, if you want to count that one.
Yeah.
5. 6, 7, and then 8.
8.
The end.
And that's the book. That's the book, people. That's 8
Ghost
panels.
It's Ghost Rider. Yeah.
In a 36-page book. Gosh dang. This was the Ghost Rider annual. I almost said Ghost Rider anal. Halloween special. We're introduced to the Hood, who casts a spell from a magical book on a Halloween night in the spirit of Sam Hain. Like you said, Drew, he didn't seem menacing. He didn't seem like a cool villain. There was nothing really about him that seemed interesting. But hey, we get not 1, but 2 girl bosses in this issue. We get Elsa, and then we get Talia. Talia we know from the regular Ghost Rider series,
And
but
then
we
Elsa
get this.
Bloodstone. Yeah.
And Elsa Bloodstone comes into this, like, you know, demon hunter or whatever she is.
They're
No,
bringing-
she busts down the door and says, "When I knock, you answer the fucking door."
And Johnny Blaze and Johnny Blaze goes, whoa, guys, it's okay. We don't have to fight. He's like,
yeah, it's like no.
oh, I was like, come on, man. So, and the girls actually save the day. They go attack the Red Hood, and Ghost Rider fights off a giant pumpkin.
Yep.
I wish I were making this up, but
It was even sadder is that Ben Percy wrote this, the writer of the main Ghost Rider series, and it's only gone downhill every single issue, and it's hit the pits with this anal.
But this was truly an anal. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this was not it for me. So I at one point I almost said this is a rip it. I think for me it's a skip it, but there were points where I was like, if I had it in my hands, I would have ripped it, because I'm just like, there is no Ghost Rider in this damn book. So.
Yeah, I think the biggest shocker in this whole book was the fact that he wasn't writing bitch at the end.
on the motorcycle.
I was expecting it at the end. I'm like, oh, he's actually in. Okay, I'm shocked.
So this book was hyped to unfathomable levels of like, you've got to read this. This is the next big thing. Everyone needs to like be on board with like God's #1. It's Jonathan Hickman and his best, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, yes.
There's no info pages. There's no graph pages.
Yeah, like we got rid of the dossier thing.
Yeah.
The email pages. This is 64 pages.
$10.
$10 for this book. And I texted the guys. I texted Kyle and Drew, and I said, please tell me you read this, because I dipped out at like the 10th page. I couldn't keep going. It was so it was just expository dialogue. I had no clue who this character was. I had no clue what was going on. It was long and drawn out, and it just kept going. I didn't feel any sort of connection with the story at all. So no. I wanted to get how you guys felt, though, because I can't fully say because I didn't read the whole thing, but there was good artwork in this, but the story, like this dialogue, just fell flat on its face. So what did you guys think?
I fell asleep reading this book.
I tried reading it twice, and I told Wes when I did the best of the week with him earlier today, this is a boring version of the Magic Order. It's like, if you want to put someone to sleep reading the Magic Order, this is how you do it. It
was extremely difficult to get invested in the story, difficult to get invested in the characters. It reads like a dictionary. Like, it doesn't read like something that I felt like I was immersed into the story.
There's nothing fun about it.
Yeah, I did not have fun reading this, exactly. And for $10,
yeah,
$10.
That's a high price point for a book that you may not get. Like, I think Wes said it took him 45 minutes to get through this book. Now, I've read plenty of Claremont, and I'll tell you, 45 minutes with Chris Claremont is fun as hell. It takes you 30 to 45 minutes to read one of those books, and you're having a blast the entire time. This, I was frustrated and tired and bored.
I was exhausted.
Overall, it's not offensive enough for me to rip this thing, but skip this book at 10. You can buy so many other books with $10 than God's #1 by Jonathan Hickman.
Yes.
It, like I said, it reads like a dictionary or a thesaurus without any real substance. I got nothing from this.
Yep.
Blindly
put your hand in a dollar bin and pick out 10 books. Those will all be better than this book.
I can find 10 random Image comics better than that.
Yeah.
Buy 2 of the Transformers instead, for the love of God.
There you go.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point.
Yes.
Buy the two by like cover
buy
A,
the Ryan Otley and
cover.
buy the main cover. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Shazam issue #4. This has a 97.
So I'm going to say I had fun. This is just fun Silver Age kookiness with this comic, and I completely enjoyed it. This was how you utilize dinosaurs and gorillas in space perfectly. This comic, I loved it.
Yeah, I put in my notes, this book is wild. It's damn fun. You've got mythological gods, moon emperors, talking astronaut gorillas, superheroes, space dinosaurs. It's got it all. And it doesn't play to the kooky, gimmicky side of things. It takes itself seriously enough to where you can laugh at it and have fun with it, but also you can see that there are stakes to what is going on, you know? Like that panel with Zeus, I think it's Zeus, where he's like chastising all the other gods, and he's like, you have failed, you know, you have failed in your duties, and blah, 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 blah. And it's this beautiful Dan Mora panel, but then the female queen of the moon shows up, and he goes,
Oh,
well,
Queen Bee,
there.
yeah.
Queen Bee, yeah. So just stuff like that where I really love the writing. The artwork in this is just top notch.
One of the pages I love the most is when I believe it's Zeus who's trying to be Rico Suave on Queen Bee, speaking through Billy, and he's like, "Where's Solomon at? I need his help with how to seduce this woman. We need his words. Where's he at?"
That's right. Overall, like you, Drew, I had a lot of fun with this. There are definitely plenty of questions that I had, though, where you're asking, like, okay, once he turns back into Billy, but he's on the moon, so how does wouldn't he die? How can he breathe? Like, what's going on here? So there's some kookiness that you have to kind of suspend your disbelief for a second, right?
When you have
for the most part,
in spacesuits doing a full-on like assault on the moon, it's like, okay, rationality is kind of toward the bottom right now when you're reading this.
Exactly. The verisimilitude here is very, you know, it's out of there. But like you said, I was smiling ear to ear reading this. It's just a lot of damn fun, and that's what I want from a book. But Kyle, did you read this bad boy?
No.
Okay, no worries. You wouldn't have had fun anyway.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding.
I can't have fun. It's impossible.
Doesn't like to have fun.
He likes ice cream, man. He doesn't like to have fun. He just likes
that is real fun. That's real life.
Yeah.
Right?
No. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a recommend with how fun it is, with the storytelling, and just the perfect art from Dan Mora. I gotta recommend this. Drew, are you gonna recommend this one as well?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a solid recommend all day. This would have been in my top 4 for the week.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, nice. Cool. So let's get to the next one on the list, which is the most, I really actually do mean it this time, because G.O.D.S was supposedly the most anticipated book, but we all know that Transformers is like a fan anticipated book. Like, you heard about Transformers in your comic shops, on forums, at San Diego Comic-Con. They had an entire Skybound booth devoted to Danny Warren Johnson's art. Guys, did this deliver, or was it a flop?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This, like you said, it's hard not to have high expectations with a book like this, because it was so hyped, and you see the preview pages, you get even more excited, and then you see the ash can, you see the interiors of the ash can, you get even more excited, and it's like, this better deliver. And my God, it delivered the first time I read it, and I reread it again, read it again. I think I've read it honestly like 4 or 5 times now at this point, because it is just so damn kinetic. It's so fun. It's action packed. This is what I want in a first issue of Transformers. This gives you what you want. It's not wordy. It's not heavy. It's a kick-ass kinetic comic book with rock'em sock'em robots. That's what we want, and it does that. And I couldn't be happier. Optimus Prime is a hero. He's a badass. He has to make sacrifices. People are killed in this. It's bloody. It's graphic. It's amazing. And I did like how he didn't, Daniel Warren Johnson, he didn't blow his whole load, if you will, on all the characters in this first issue.
Yeah, I was glad about that. I'm like, keep it simple. Give me a few.
Yeah. Megatron's only name dropped once, and Sarah Skin's like, no, don't say that name.
I love it. This is one of the few books that I think you have to have a physical copy. Like, you have to touch, you have to read it and feel it. Because if you're somebody that gets their books online or just reads them on the computer, which I do a lot, and that's how the first time I read this was on the computer, and I was just like, okay, it's good, but like I was just like, it's fine. I wasn't really all that hyped up for it, and then I picked it up and I read it in person. Like I held it and I'm like, this fucking book, like it's exploding off the page. Like it felt it, and I'm like, that's what it is. Like that's what I miss. That's what I needed, and I read it the third time. I'm like, this book is like this book was such a great way to start out a first issue. Like it's exactly what they needed to do with Transformers. It had everything in there. It didn't give you too much to where you're just like, if you didn't watch everything, if you didn't see everything, if you don't know Transformers for the past 40 years, you're not going to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. So Cal, sorry to cut you off real quick, but I guarantee you, if Jonathan Hickman had written this, it would have been like 20 pages of time for backstory.
Yeah,
the whole history of the Transformers.
Just exposition the comic book.
Yeah, that's all I have on. Nothing but flashbacks, and then cut to the present, and back to the past, and how does this mirror the past to the present, and going on in the future, and who's going to be? It's like, Jesus, we don't need that. We need a few Autobots and a few Decepticons. This is what they want. This is what they're doing. They hate each other, and then you have humans thrown in there in the middle, and it's like, that's all you need. It's simple, it's fun, it's exciting, and Daniel Warren Johnson's art is perfect for this book.
Yes, yeah. And I know that was actually a point of, there were a few people saying, is Daniel Warren Johnson up for the task of doing Transformers? Because his stuff is so freeform, because it's so kinetic, it's almost very manga-esque, that they were wondering, can he do these kind of structured robotic forms? But I honestly think he nailed it, and I actually like his style on Transformers because he takes those things that are normally more structured and, geometric and makes them more kinetic and dynamic. And like, you get kicks, you get a freaking suplex from Optimus Prime, and he makes those.
You get a clothesline, and
you get a clothesline. And and all you don't need Optimus Prime to be, spewing empty platitudes and saying all this stuff. All he says in that panel is like, I think it was like never or something, right? Because and I don't want to spoil too much of it, but he is a stoic leader. He is a heroic character, and that's exactly how Optimus needs to be. I will agree with both of your sentiments. I think this was a fantastic first issue. And what's interesting about this one is that it's only going to get better from here. At least from my standpoint, when I read this, there's so much more that they can build off of at this point. I was left wanting more after reading the 36 pages of this book.
And that's good. We should all want more after reading it.
Absolutely. You don't want to get halfway through a book and go, I'm exhausted, like G.O.D.S was from Jonathan Hickman. You want to get to the end page and go, wait, I want more, right?
Yeah.
For me, as someone who hasn't been a big Transformers guy, who doesn't really know too much, I've watched bits and pieces of the original 84 show, 1984, I think it was. But you really get a feel for the atmosphere, the environment, the characters with that show. And that spirit of the show, I think, was really put into this book. I think the pacing was great. You're introduced to these characters right off the bat. You get an idea for who they are. But, I mean, we're talking within the first 5 pages. Once you get introduced to them, we are in it. The Transformers are up, they're talking, they're ready to go, and we start seeing fights.
It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And I think anyone who is actually wanting to pick up this book, I think that's what people want. I don't know if that's what everyone wants, but for me, as a brand new Transformers guy coming into this, all I wanted to see was Transformers fighting each other, and that's what I got, right? Overall, I really can't give this book enough praise. I think it did end up living up to the hype. I think you look at these panels, these pages, and even though the writing is simple, I mean, Daniel Warren Johnson has spoken about this on his YouTube channel before. He's always talked about how he's an illustrator first and how he loves doing that more so than writing. So I don't mind the simple dialogue. I think that's fine, especially for a story like this where you're trying to get an intro story in 36 pages. I really appreciated this book. I think it lived up to the hype. but the like I said, the panels, the illustrations speak for themselves, and you can see the passion coming through the page, which is why, like you were saying, Kyle, you need to pick up like the physical copy. It's only $5. Do not go buy G.O.D.S for $10. Go buy 2 of these, like Zaxx was saying earlier, and just admire the artwork, the craft. Spicer brings colors to this that just elevates this book to a next level comic. Like this thing is just like you guys were saying, it explodes off the page. Like it's palpable, right? Like you can feel the emotion and the hard hits and the impacts, and it's just so much damn fun. I was smiling ear to ear. I can't recommend this book enough. I think it is for me. This was my pick of the week this week. So
same here.
Yep, same. This book, it can't go understated. Like how important this book is. If this art turned out to be great, like this story alone, like it needs to be praised for how good it is. If Skybound can get this right and actually do a real Transformers book, it's like this is such a hard, like ground level, solid foundation you can have moving forward. Like this is important. This is pivotal. If they can get Transformers right, that's huge.
It's like we're on an adrenaline high after talking Transformers.
Yeah.
You know? Let's talk about Birds of Prey. Let's bring it down hard. Let's talk about Birds of Prey.
No, you know what? Actually, let's do this. Let's talk about sacrifice. Let's live on this high, right? I want to talk. I want to live on the high, and then we can talk about the shit afterwards.
This was my number 2 pick of the week. I really love this issue.
Easily my number 2 pick of the week. It was very close between this one and Transformers. Both were very, very good, but the art in this continues to, if it's even possible, get better, right?
Yeah.
But Drew, I think you were kind of you talked about this, I think, with Wes potentially, or with Josh. But tell us a little bit about issue 3 and what we get from this bad boy.
Yeah, so in issue 3, we were introduced to the gods, and it very much reminded me of the Parliament of different forces of nature, if you will. They're similar to Swamp Thing from DC Comics. You have these gods of like a god of water, a god of the suns, and everything, but they all come across as deplorable individuals. They're just deplorable people, and people are being sacrificed for them to continue going, but they show at this point no appreciation about that at all for these people being sacrificed and to keep them going. They're totally self-absorbed individuals, pieces of shit at this point, effectively. And and then we're introduced to the ones being sacrificed, and it has I call it a Willy Wonka effect, where they're effectively in this Candyland, if you will. Things are bright, beautiful, jubilant. They're having fun, seeing puppets, they're laughing and joking. But then we get the twist, and eventually, it's not happy. It's very heartbreaking because you do grow with these characters, and when you see what happens to them at the end, it crushes you. And to see that they're sacrificed for these deplorable gods, it's like, it's heartbreaking.
It's such a well-written book. It doesn't hammer you over the head with any type of, agenda or ideology. It makes you question things more so. It makes you question. It doesn't give you answers to anything. And I like that a lot about Rick Remender's writing here. But the artwork is just beautiful. I love all the different gods. You have that one woman who's like the moon god in here, and like Luna, I think her name is, or something like that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
You have like the deplorable daughter who's like, I hate everything about all this, and screw all these people, and wait till I get up to the ranks of the top, and I can't wait to blah blah. So many interesting characters in this book, but man, I was gutted when you finally get that twist. And the artwork on the faces of the kids, holy shit, man! Like, whew, I was. It's heavy. It's heavy. So, Kyle, what did you think of the 3rd issue here?
I don't want to be the one to bring it down.
Oh no, you didn't like it as much?
I thought it was kind of rote. I mean,
no.
It's that typical evil rich people are bad, gods are asshole. It's like we've gotten this from how many DC books now of the gods are all these asshole, all the rich people are. It's like what you equate to in the grand scheme of things to these rich people is nothing but, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just
right.
It's like you're better than this. Like it was able to toe a line before this of you seeing different perspectives of what they thought this sacrifice was. I was disappointed in the fact that I knew where it was going. I hoped it didn't go there.
Okay. It's so you know what, and that's fair. I totally understand it because it does have that rich, pompous. Oh, we are the elites, right? We are, we are gaining our youth and our power from the ones who have been sacrificed to us. Like it can come off as something that is a commentary on our capitalist rich elites or whatever, but I don't know, I feel like he puts it in a world so unlike our own that I didn't feel like that.
I would have been nice to see a different twist, like maybe these gods aren't like that, or maybe some of them are and some of them aren't, and maybe they don't really. I don't know, you could have done it.
It's only third issue, Kyle. Maybe we'll see more.
I hope it doesn't turn into that crap, but I have a strong feeling that it probably will.
And if it does make that turn, I will agree with you. That's not where I want this to go. I hope it stays interesting. I hope it stays engaging. I really was enthralled by the issue. It didn't take me out of it too much, but like I said, Kyle, I totally understand where you're coming from though, and why it seems rote, why it seems kind of pandering at this point. The art is fantastic. The colors are beautiful. The world that he has created is really great. And hopefully it doesn't go down, like you said, the classic trope of just rich people bad, elites bad, capitalism bad, Hopefully it doesn't go there.
I hope it doesn't. I hope the daughter doesn't turn out to be, I don't want to be like these people. I want to be different and I want to help people. You guys don't want to help anybody. You just are all for yourselves. It's just like, okay.
And she changes the world, Kyle.
What else? Keep going. What else now? Socialism is great. Let's all give it back to the people.
Oh no, everyone is equal.
Yeah. Shut up, Kyle. Shut up.
I'm still gonna read it. I'm still there for it. So,
well, good. So, I will give this a recommend. Kyle,
it's a mild recommend. It would hit.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Recommend it. The art alone is fantastic.
Well, so I did read this, but I'll be super quick. It's an amazing Alex Ross cover. These Doc Strange covers from Alex Ross are gorgeous. I haven't been following the series much, so I was kind of lost, and the plot seemed really convoluted. But from what I read, I didn't necessarily mind it. There's there's a cool concept here from like a General Strange, because we're introduced to like Doctor Strange and General Strange, which is like this kind of warlord figure that's like more deadly than Doctor Strange, that has been released from this like mind prison. It's got really interesting art, great colors, fantastic final page, but overall I think it's a meh. Even if I were following this storyline, I don't feel like there's anything for me really to grasp here. Like I said, interesting concepts, but not necessarily anything I could say, oh yeah, pay $4 to $5 for this book. Birds of Prey, wow, 96 for this.
I didn't read it.
Oh, you didn't?
I tried.
You're already out?
I did Fire and Ice. I couldn't do this too.
There are a lot of people simping for this book. I know that. There are a lot.
God.
If you read Fire and Ice first, you were never going to get through Birds of Prey. There's no way.
Exactly. That's why I had to stop.
Yeah. So with Birds of Prey, there's a creature on Themyscira that wants to use Sin, which I believe is Black Canary's sister or daughter or something like that. Sure. As its like host. The creature wants to use Sin as her like host, and will most likely kill all the Amazonians on the island by doing so.
No, stop, don't.
No, please stop, don't. Take my eyes, but not my shirt. So the birds of prey need to get to paradise and rescue Sin before the creature can kill her. The book is just boring as all hell. Even though it sounds like grandiose stakes, there's just nothing here for me to care about. There's no there's no defining qualities between any of the characters. Like, you could interchange any of these word bubbles and they all sound the exact same. There's really no story to be told here. There's nothing of substance. I always ask, what am I getting from this book? I don't feel like I'm getting anything from this. I don't know. What from the little that you guys read, what did you guys get from this?
It's not for me. It just sounds boring. It just sounds. I don't like, honestly, what they're making this sound out being like, oh, we need to stop this. I'm honestly like, you know what? It's not a bad idea to do that, to wipe out half of the mascara at this point, because some of these characters are utterly insufferable and unlikable, almost borderline villains. And it's like, this isn't a bad idea to wipe them out.
Well, yeah, because I guess in continuity, all the Amazonians are being hunted right now.
Sure. Yeah. Allegedly.
Well,
Yeah.
Allegedly.
4 billion years.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, this book is it's devoid of any fun, creativity, adventure, or excitement. It's a total skip it every single time. I read issue 1 and it was the same exact thing. It was just devoid of any of that stuff. So, Kyle, I'm assuming you then read this, yes?
Oh, you don't read this book. You can't read this book. It is nothing but one giant TikTok of who gives a fuck.
Actually, yeah.
I can't even begin to describe the stupidity of this and how it's actually real. Like, it is nothing. There is nothing to these characters. I sit there and I'm just like, how does this get made? It is just nothing but cucked simp male characters standing around being cucked around a bunch of strong women who just sit around a beauty parlor and don't do a fucking thing. All they do is complain.
The fact that the book opens to ambush bug, I mean, I wish I were kidding, but the first page of this book is ambush bug getting like hit by fire, and he says something like, "Oh yeah, mommy, do it again," and I was like,
"Here we go.
What am I reading right now?"
Yep.
It's pathetic. It is pathetic. Yep. But yeah, no, the book is just.
I mean, all she does is want to get famous on TikTok,
and that's why when you said this book is just TikTok, like, you're 100%. Like, it's mindless. There's no structure to it. Nothing happens, but somehow there are crazy things happening all at once.
Yes,
it is the TikTok of comic books. It's just mindless. There's nothing of substance here. The dialogue is like, they reference things from like 2003 humor, which is like not. They try and be like culturally hip, or like, they try and like reference pop culture stuff, and I'm like, this is awful. Like, you're referencing really terrible things that no one knows about, and it always makes me wonder, like, who is this book for? Right? It's really devoid of any moral. Like, superhero comics should always have some sort of like, aspirational tone or moral, integrity or whatever, but it's completely directionless and like tonally ambiguous. Like, it makes no sense. And because you get like Fire, who, like I think you were saying, Kyle, the only reason why she exists is to become TikTok famous or Instagram famous, or she just wants fame and attention. And that's what she wants to utilize with her superpowers. It's completely vain and really off-putting for the character. And so she like manipulates her enemies into using them for clout on the internet. Like, what type of book are like, what are you trying to tell your audience by putting something like this character in there? So
that she's a villain. They're villains, and this is so stupid that they said it in Smallville for no fucking reason. And every panel in this book looks like generic cityscape or city townscape. There is no way you would know that this is in Smallville ever. And it's like, why the fuck is this even here? Like, what are you doing? You can't even get that right.
Overall, I think even people who are reading this book are not really enjoying it. But what's so sad is that this could have been, a cool introduction to two female characters that we don't really get a lot of books about. And yet Casually Comics, like if you guys watch her stuff, even Casually Comics is like, it's pretty damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Not pandering, but it's almost offensive to female comic book readers to think that this is what they want, right? Like, if this is what writers think that female comic book readers want from their Fire and Ice book, it's like, man, you must really think little of female comic book readers. Well, Fire and Ice, I think this week for me, do I rip it? Or do I
it's a rip it. It's a rip it all day long. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
All right, I'm on board. We're ripping Fire and Ice.
Yes.
Kyle, did you say you read Alien?
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Alien Anal?
Alien Anal, number 1.
Oh my god, I've never seen a lower score than 50.
Oh
damn.
It's
$6 for Alien Anal.
There is not a single line of dialogue in this book. It is told from the perspective of, it starts off with a xenomorph who is somehow alive in the vacuum of space, even though that's how the aliens died in the first movie and the second
or
one.
did it? We don't know.
Yeah, we assume they died, and they go down to a planet full of other monsters.
Like little spiders. Yeah.
Yep. And then they fight those things and ingest them, and they become the xenomorph version of their creatures, and that's it.
The end.
But there's no talking. It's just noises they make, and that's it.
There literally is not a single dialogue bubble.
No
in this
words.
book.
No words are spoken. Nothing. It's
Wow.
terrible art in each panel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's making this? Marvel?
Yep.
Yeah, Marvel wants you to pay $6 for this book.
And you know what this is all leading into another number 1.
Yeah.
It is not hard to get aliens and predators right. You have to do so little to actually do it correctly, and you can't even do that. Like it.
This could have been a silent issue of the colonial marines and infiltrating a hive. That could have been a whole silent issue, and infiltrating a hive. But the art in that book sucks. The art in this alien issue sucks. That's all I got to say. It is not good.
So this is a rip it or skip it?
It's a skip it. Well, it's a rip it. I mean, it's such a pointless book. It is pointless.
Right. Did you guys read this one by chance?
I tried to. I tried. It's just the stories are so damn stupid. I couldn't do it.
What, the first story? It was like a detective story. I didn't really have any affinity towards it. The second story was actually pretty cool. Green Lantern and Etrigan team up. That's cool.
That's
all right.
Cool.
Yeah, so I like that. But it's Riley Rossimo on art. So it's like, oh, well, okay. Then you get the third story that was Animal Man and his daughter. That was really pointless about them going trick-or-treating. The fourth story was Nightwing runs into a victim of a vampire, so he enlists the help of Red Hood. That was cool because the art was really good.
Yeah, that was the one good story in this. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree, Drew. But then, like, the last story is Lobo and Crush, and Lobo gets invited to a Halloween party, and Crush has to help him find a costume.
God damn it.
I love it.
What the fuck are we doing? Yeah, Kyle, just bravo, DC.
Hell, yes.
Like, take the main man, take the most, the Bastich himself, one of the coolest characters in the DC, and just completely emasculate him. Like, it's just pathetic. So
he would have killed everyone at the party. He would have gone and killed everyone there for fun.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, for $10, it's outrageous for this.
Yes. Oh, outrageous is a great is a great word. DC is expecting you to pay $10 for this. It is 80 pages, which is a trade paperback size.
80.
Yeah. On the stories alone, I think there are 8
10 stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and out of that, I would really only recommend 1 or 2.
Yeah, the Nightwing and Red Hood one. Yeah.
The Nightwing and Red Hood, and I would actually recommend the Green Lantern and Etrigan. I thought that was pretty cool. So, I mean, 2 out of 8, there's no way I can recommend that to someone to pay $10 for 2 out of 8 stories. Unfortunately, I got to give this one a skip it this week. So,
yeah, skip it.
That one came out this week, but last week there was a Mad Cave issue that came out for Halloween. There was an anthology book. Everyone who was involved with the creation of this book, all the creators, were actually talent. They had a talent search, and everyone who was in this book won during 2019, 2020, 2021. So I thought that was a kind of cool premise. I'm going to give this one a recommend. I know it came out last week, but I wanted to talk about it this week since it is spooky season. I'm going to totally give this one a recommend. The Battle Cat story I was very impressed with. Was not expecting that at all. You get a ton of character development within just a few pages, and it's a really good story of not necessarily morality, but just knowing that you are worthy and being with your friends and gaining your worth from being with your friends and kind of understanding what that means in the grand scheme of things. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Fun dialogue, hero's journey, culmination, but the art and the story for the Nottingham portion of the Tales from the Cave book, the last story in this, the art is spectacular. It's some of the best Nottingham art I've seen for the series. This was fantastic. I want more of that, that little short story. I wish there was more of it. But his talent was just displayed on every single page. And 2 out of the 3 stories, I didn't read the middle one, which was Hunt, Kill, Repeat, but the Battle Cats and the Nottingham were both phenomenal. So I'm definitely going to give this a recommend. I guess I'll end on this one because I read this one. Well, this was actually, so I read this for my good friend Josh, who it was his birthday this past week. And I said, you know what, for you, my good friend, I'll read Sainted Love, issue number 1.
The covers for this alone were outrageous.
Really? Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if I can. Well,
I'm pretty sure it was a black bag variant too of some pretty raunchy stuff.
Oh yeah,
right.
Not safe for work. Yeah. So yeah. All joking aside, I did not read this for Josh, but it was it was on digital. So I took a look at it and I was like, you know what? Let me just give it a chance. Maybe it's good. Let me give it a chance. I don't want to judge a book by its cover, right? This is nothing but a gay porn smut comic book. You get full frontal throughout the entire book.
Oh my God.
You get orgies. You get men cheating on each other with other men and then joining in with the guy he's cheating on. It's wild. It's just a full-on sex romp. So it's not for me. But if that's something you guys are into, then it's $5.
Steve Orlando's into.
Yeah, it's definitely. Oh, Steve Orlando has just had one hand writing and the other hand under the desk. But there you have it. I think that is every comic for the week of October 4th. All of our Skip-Its and Mez. Or Skip-Its, Mez, and our best books. I think for me, my top book was obviously Transformers. I still, after this stream, I'll most likely go back and reread it again. I think my number 2 was Sacrificers, and my number 3 was Shazam for my recommends and my.
That's the same for me. Yeah.
Kyle, would you put Sacrificers up there or no? Are you gonna maybe kind of?
There's nothing else. What the fuck else I gotta put up their Ghost Rider. I mean, or Sainted Love. I don't know what else should go up there.
Yeah, Sainted Love.
And Sainted Love.
Yeah.
Ooh, now we're talking
Yeah.
Johnny Blaze.
Some flame. Yeah, Blaze, yeah.
He's flame on, boys. Yeah. Well, at least we know that Transformers is your number one, right?
Oh yeah, hands down, by far.
Yeah.